Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third annual Hornets Innovation Summit presented by Bank of America. I'm Sam Farber. I'm the radio play-by-play broadcaster here for the Charlotte Hornets, and it is a pleasure and a privilege to welcome you here inside Spectrum Center for our third annual Innovation Summit. We're excited to be here inside the home of the Hornets, Spectrum Center, and welcome those of you tuned in on our live stream at hornets.com. The Hornets Innovation Summit was launched back in 2021 as part of the economic mobility portion of the Social Justice Platform, helping provide social and financial capital to minority-owned businesses and entrepreneurs within 150 miles of Spectrum Center. After receiving more than 100 incredibly strong applications and thousands of subsequent fan votes, we are down to 4 finalists today, one of which will receive a $15,000 investment from the Charlotte Hornets. Today, each of our finalists has 5 minutes to present their pitches, and then our live panel of expert judges will have the opportunity to ask each finalist some questions about their product, service, or organization. With that, let's meet today's esteemed panel of judges. We have Donna Julian, Executive Vice President and Spectrum Center General Manager for Hornets Sports and Entertainment. She is responsible for overseeing the day-to-day operations of this arena. Thomas Parks, a business banking manager, market manager with Bank of America. Michael Dermer, founder of The Lonely Entrepreneur, a nonprofit that provides current and aspiring entrepreneurs with knowledge, tools, and support to grow their businesses. Grease Bailey, she is the president and CEO of the Latin American Chamber of Commerce of Charlotte. And Marcus Baskerville, owner of Weathered Souls Brewing, one of Charlotte's first black-owned breweries. Now at this time, I'd like to introduce Hornets Sports and Entertainment Vice President of Corporate Social Responsibility and Charlotte Hornets Foundation Executive Director Betsy Mack for some brief opening remarks.
Thanks, Sam. And welcome, everyone. And congratulations to all of our 4 finalists. We're so excited to have you here on this final stage for the finalist competition and the final round. That in itself is such an accomplishment, and we're so proud to celebrate all of you. The Hornets Sports and Entertainment and the Charlotte Hornets Foundation is extremely proud to be able to utilize our platform and resources to help empower our community, especially our minority groups, and work through increasing economic mobility, which is so important for all. I want to thank everyone who applied to the Innovation Summit. As Sam said, we had over 100 applicants, and these applicants were all amazing. So to our finalists, you were up against some tough competition, and you really shone through. So we appreciate all that you're doing. And now, without further ado, I'll turn it back over to Sam. We are so excited for the presentations, so let's get it started.
Let's do that. But thank you, Betsy. Before we get started, a reminder that each finalist will have 5 minutes for their presentation, followed by some time for the judges to ask some questions. We'll go in alphabetical order, so our first pitch of the day is curated self-care company Dose Lifestyles. Representing Dose Lifestyles is its founder, Dejanique Garrison, and its head of business strategy, Elena Moore. Elena, Dejanique, take it away.
Are Southeast Texas hospitals prepared for more coronavirus cases? I'm going to give you the facts so that you can make the most informed decisions. The 44-year-old became the 5th coronavirus fatality.
I can't breathe! I can't breathe!
Across Southeast Texas, there have been several protests.
I've been mistreated! I can't breathe anymore!
Get your knee off of our necks because we cannot breathe.
My chest is tight just remembering. That was me, Dejanique Garrison, a 2-time Emmy Award-winning journalist who takes so much pride in being an advocate and telling the stories of my community. But I realize when you couple a global pandemic and social justice unrest, telling those stories made it difficult to process my own. I was placed on a 3-month waiting list to see a counselor, and I'm like, what in the world do I do between now and then? And I realized something. Wellness services were not as affordable, accessible, or attractive as I thought they were. And I started doing my own research. Lighting candles for aromatherapy, journaling to get my thoughts out on paper, and listening to soothing music to calm my central nervous system. And the light bulb went off. I was using ordinary products to serve an extraordinary purpose. And if these things were helping me, they could help other people too. And Dose Lifestyle was founded. We are a line of curated self-care products that believe self-care should not just be reserved for a special occasion. Self-care should be a part of your everyday lifestyle. Here's the problem. The market lacks a sufficient number of provider options that meet the needs of minority millennials, specifically us, African American women. And this is our solution. We want to curate a scientifically backed line of wellness products. We want to build communities to foster healthy conversations around self-care practices. And we also want to produce a personalized mobile app experience to reduce barriers to wellness tools. Now, we know self-care and wellness is at the center of so many conversations post-coronavirus, and the numbers tell that story. This is a $450 billion, yes with a B, industry, and it's growing at 5% every single year. These are the 6 cornerstones that people believe encompass wellness, and we think Dose sits at the intersection of what our target audience is looking for.
And that's right. Consumers are expecting more of brands every day. And 47% of Black consumers need more wellness products and services that are geared towards their needs. And we believe that Dose has an opportunity to provide that solution to our target market. And the way that we plan to do that is by maximizing the profits of a seemingly ordinary product for an extraordinary purpose. We are going to build local wellness communities. And for Dose, that is meeting people where they are, whether it's a coffee shop, a local boutique, or a bookstore. We're gonna be sharing tips to help attendees prioritize their mental health and wellness with Dose products as the backdrop. And we're going to foster conversations surrounding intentional self-care and wellness practices. And all of this is gonna lead to the development of the Dose app, where we're gonna take our local community national. And Dose isn't the first brand to bring together multiple wellness dimensions or dimensions that are a part of their industry. Brands like Alo Yoga have done that in fitness, where they bring yoga products, and they have it all on an on-demand app where you can leverage all of those things in one place and take it with you. And we know that Dose is in a position where we can build that for the wellness industry.
This is the team we're working with today. I'm Dejanique Garrison, the founder and CEO, with Elena Moore, who is our head of business strategy, and we also lean on Carl Prevost, who's our chief psychology and wellness advisor. But guys, we need you on the team too.
And that's right. Our impact can only be so great, and we know that having you along with us will make us even greater. As we look into 2023, we are poised to increase our revenues by 106% this year, just based on the sale of our products. And there's only so much revenue, so many dollars, and having your support will really allow us to build our local communities in the Charlotte area, partnering with organizations like Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And we are really excited to be able to do that this year and take our product from local to national and building our app. Thank you.
Thank you, Elena and Dejanique, for sharing your story and your products. And now we're going to give our judges 5 minutes to ask you some questions. We're going to begin with Donna Julian, followed by Thomas and Marcus.
Good morning. First of all, congratulations on getting to this point. It's very exciting, and you've done a great job. Self-help and awareness is important to me on a personal level. There is a lot of content out there. Can you elaborate a little bit more about what makes your process different and unique, and maybe provide some feedback you've gotten from your existing clients?
Absolutely. I think at the cornerstone of Dose, when you heard my personal story, it is rooted in factual evidence and scientifically based practices. So we don't want to just tell you what feels good, we want to tell you what works. And when doing self-care yourself, a lot of people feel it's an individual practice. I'm going to go to the spa, or I'm going to meditate. But we did realize that when you encompass a community with those tools as well, it breaks another level, right? Because now we're able to talk about the triggering factors that put us into these positions. Now we're able to share best practices together. And I think the community aspect coupled with the scientifically backed practices is what's gonna take Dose to a new level.
Thank you very much.
And by the way, those beautiful shiny boxes on your table are some Dose products, so feel free to open those up and take a look.
First of all, good morning, and I will echo Donna, congratulations, and I'm looking forward to checking out my box. When I reviewed your pitch last evening, you mentioned in your information that the professional millennial is your target space. Tell us a little bit more about that. Why did you choose that particular segment, and is there a plan to go outside of that segment?
So yes, we decided to, when we looked at the market and we looked at the research that we quoted in our information in our deck is from McKinsey, and with 47%, a large portion of the surveyed constituents in that research were millennials and were minority, specifically African American. But when we think about all of the things that are happening, millennials, number one, are the largest market that is spending money currently in the wellness industry, and we have an opportunity to build a relationship with them that will last the longest amount of time. Gen Z isn't really in a place, just how old they are, where they're at a place to financially have those resources to spend. So the millennials not only are telling us that they want more resources based on our research, they also have an opportunity to have the longest lasting relationship and those resources to do that, to spend it on those products.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is that right? Okay. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Hi, Marcus.
Good. It was exciting to hear your guys' pitch this morning. Outside of your guys' app, what are going to be some of the key ways that you guys reach your millennial audience? Like, for myself, for instance, I'm always on my cell phone, but it's more business related than actually utilizing apps or, social media or any of that fun type of aspect. So outside of the physical app process, what are some other ways that you guys plan on reaching out to your key audience?
Absolutely, and that's when we talk about meeting the people where they are. So Dose is not just confined to being on your mobile app or being in your journal or you sitting inside and lighting your candle. We want to partner with other entrepreneurs as well, other minorities who have coffee shops, boutiques, be able to create these spaces where maybe you don't think about wellness, you're just going in to buy a nice blouse, but we want to captivate this audience. And so that's one way that we want to be able to kind of build these pop-up communities.
Yes.
And also through speaking engagements. Being a broadcast journalist by trade, it gives me the opportunity to take one gift and transfer it into another space that has grown to be something that I'm extremely passionate about. So self-care and wellness seminars, not only for those spaces, but thinking corporations. So going to your jobs, going to your workplaces, going to those professional development seminars. These are all things that we could do in order to spread the message of Dose Lifestyle.
All right, that wraps up our questions. Thank you, Elena and Dejanique. Before we move on to our second pitch of the day, let's take a minute to recap how we got here. From over 100 applications, an internal selection committee narrowed the list down to determine who would move on to the second round, in which applicants had their video pitches posted on Hornets.com as well as Hornets social media apps for a fan vote. We received thousands of combined votes, and our internal selection committee then reviewed the applications again, taking fan voting into account as they narrowed it down to our final four here today. And one of today's finalists will follow in the footsteps of last year's winner, Elizabeth Escobar, for her bilingual job platform, iTrabajo, as well as South Carolina-based entrepreneur Brandy Long, whose product, The Jurse, won the inaugural Innovation Summit. Now let's take a look back at the 2022 Hornets Innovation Summit. The Hornets Innovation Summit was launched last year as part of the economic mobility portion of our social justice platform as a way to provide social and financial capital to minority-owned businesses and entrepreneurs within 150 miles of Spectrum Center.
The best part of this Innovation Summit is knowing that everyone that has participated will walk away with something. While only one person will win the $15,000 investment. Every applicant will receive a year of resources from the Lonely Entrepreneur. And the top 16 candidates will receive coaching sessions from Bank of America. We're also very proud to have our partners who are all equally committed to the economic mobility of minority entrepreneurs. It's something that's really important to our organization, and I'd like to thank you for your true partnerships.
What's great about the partnership between Bank of America, the Hornets, and Lonely Entrepreneurs, everybody who applied got the Lonely Entrepreneur platform, and now the 16 are here to meet each other, and then obviously the 4 and down to the 1 that win it, because they're all at different stages, and for them to have the opportunity to be recognized regardless of where they are, and to meet the others and to understand they can all do it, and with the support from us and the Hornets and Bank of America, they feel like they have a real fighting shot to do it.
After receiving over 100 incredibly strong applications and almost 40,000 fan votes, we are down to our top 4 finalists, one of which will receive a $15,000 investment from the Charlotte Hornets.
Well, my name is Kelly. I play for the Hornets, and I'm really excited to let you know that you're our winner for our.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
oh
congratulations.
My goodness.
I'm really impressed that you have your own company, I Trabajo, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm really proud of you for that. And we just want to continue to just inspire you to continue to go and never give up on your dreams and keep creating.
It's just so amazing to see that the Charlotte community is welcoming Hispanics by helping them thrive in this beautiful city. And thank you for your words. And I will not give up.
Never.
I gotta keep going, moving forward, helping people.
Last year, iTrabajo saw a 41% increase in its subscribers to its platform following the Hornets Innovation Summit, and formed partnerships with more than a dozen new businesses and nonprofits, helping them to identify and hire Spanish-speaking or bilingual talent. It's remarkable to see how the Hornets Innovation Summit helped Elizabeth's business, and we can't wait to see what it does for our finalists here today. Speaking of which, it's time for our next presentation. We have Playtime Adventures LLC, represented by its founder and Chief Executive Officer, Kevin Gatlin.
Morning, everyone. Did you know, on average, a child will spend roughly 21 days in the hospital, and their bed will usually look like this? But what if we can magically transform that bed into an adventure where kids could explore, play, learn, sleep, heal, but most importantly, just be a kid? Well, now we can. Hi, my name is Kevin Gatlin, and I own Playtime Adventures. We create interactive bed sheets for kids in hospitals, but they're just what the doctor ordered for kids at home as well. So I'll share how I came up with my ideal. I went to go visit a friend whose son was sick in the hospital. And while there, we were doing everything to try to keep his spirits up. But he had been there for a while, and he was just ready to go home. So on the way home, I was thinking how that could be my wife and I, and what would we do in that situation? And I thought about my wife and how she would utilize our son's bed to play board games, to do homework, or just relax. And I thought, the hospital is the same setup. I am going to put games on sheets for kids in the hospital. So I was talking to my mom, who's a retired school teacher here, and I said, hey Mom, I got this idea. I'm gonna put checkers and tic-tac-toe on games for kids in hospitals. And she said, well, you better put some educational components on it as well. Well, I was not the smart one in my family. So she introduced me to some teachers locally, and over a 2-year period, we created interactive bed sheets for kids to play, learn, and sleep on. So I'll show you. This is our Playtime Storytime pillowcase. Based on starter sentences and images, it encourages kids to create their own stories. This is the Playtime flat sheet. It's made up of oversized game boards, positive affirmations, shapes, and colors. My favorite is the Playtime fitted sheet. Our bed sheets have over 75 fun games in 5 languages spread out throughout the sheets. Mandarin, Spanish, French, sign language, and of course, English. It has the fun games I grew up playing, tic-tac-toe and checkers. Then it has those fun learning games throughout the sheets as well. All the instructions to play each game is located right next to the game, and you can play all the games based on what mom would have in her purse, which is coins and cut out paper. We then went on to design our Playtime Slumber Bag. It's reversible. It has games on both sides, side 1, side 2, but wait, there's more. It opens all the way up to reveal even more games. So it's a great slumber bag. It's a great play mat. It's a great bed cover. We were then asked by the Pediatric Council to create a disposable version of our reusable Playtime bed sheets. So we created the Playtime Activity Play Pad. It's primarily used for short-term stay in the hospitals, but it's great for home use as well. It can hang across it can go across a bed, it can hang from the door, it can go across a table, or it can be played with on the floor. So we know our demographic is hospitals, but we soon learned that our product is made for any organization that provides a safe bed for displaced kids. So how will we use the grant? Well, number 1, we're going to continue to build out more Playtime products. 2, we need to update our website. We need to schedule photo shoots to update our imagery. And then we need to reach our customer base, which is in the hospital sector, through trade shows, and retail sector through trade shows as well. Last but not least, what's more important, or really important to us, is we're a mission-based company. So we'll take a portion of the grant, and through our Playtime Therapy Sheets Foundation, we're going to donate to the Levine Children's Hospital and the Salvation Army Women's Shelter. In closing, I want to play a video that really captures and shows how the sheets magically transform a child's bed, which happens to be in the hospital.
You did that all by yourself, and I missed it.
Imitate a bear.
Avery's imitation of a bear, everybody.
Yay, Avery!
Because she landed on, you're a bear, so imitate a bear.
Thank you. My name is Kevin Gatlin with Playtime Adventures. I look forward to your questions.
Thank you, Kevin. What a meaningful business you've created. Let's see what questions our judges have for you. We'll begin with Michael, then Thomas, and then Grease.
Kevin, congratulations on such an important venture.
Thank
it's
you.
great to see the smiles of those kids. Tell me a little bit about how you sell. Are you selling mostly to hospital systems and large hospitals and other healthcare facilities? Walk us through a little bit of that.
So when we first started, we were selling strictly hospitals. And then when COVID hit, we went out of business because the hospitals went on lockdown. We were approached by Amazon. That really opened up our retail opportunity. So now we've been able to sell into, we're big on Amazon, Walmart, Target. But then also in the hospital sector, we were able to, we got accepted into some GPOs, one being Vizient. So we're working with Vizient now to, get our product into other hospitals.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good morning, great concept.
Thank you.
You mentioned your current designs that you have and looking to expand to other designs. What does that look like? How many designs do you want to ultimately have? What would they look like? Walk us through what your vision is from an expansion perspective.
So our designs really come about through working with nurses, pediatric nurses, and child life. We curate, they tell us what they would like to see on the sheets, and then the next generation of sheets we put out will have those components because they use them a lot from a therapy standpoint as well. And what's great is that what we do for the hospital sector translates into the home sector as well. So for instance, they wanted anatomy on the sheets, right? So that they could describe procedures to kids. Well, anatomy is great for home use as well. So it's really just dependent on what the customer base tells us, and then we put the sheets together.
Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning.
Congratulations on
Thank you.
your business. My question is around sales. Where have your sales come primarily from? Is it the hospitals? Is it where your sales coming from primarily now?
So we've grown. It first started in hospitals. We're in 25 hospitals currently. house-wide, and then we're in other hospitals, in departments, and then individuals are purchasing our product for kids in hospitals every day. But then we start to partner with corporations and do team building. So we've done that, in the city and abroad. And then retail. Amazon, again, has been great for us. We sold out last year from Amazon because they have a BBA program. So working through their Black Business Accelerator program, we are included into the Christmas catalog. So we've had great success from that as well. So I guess we're blessed because in a way we're able to, provide our bed sheets to kids across the board.
Thank you very much, Kevin, for sharing your business and your vision.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
We'd like now to introduce our first speaker of the day. Curtis Polk is the managing partner of Hornets Sports and Entertainment, and he also manages the financial and business affairs of Michael Jordan, his family office, and his related companies. In addition, Curtis was an executive producer of the 2020 Emmy Award-winning documentary, The Last Dance, and he also helped launch Nike's Jordan brand. He is also part of the ownership groups of the Charlotte Hornets and 23XI Racing, and serves as an alternate governor on the NBA's Board of Governors.
Congratulations to our 4 finalists. It's really exciting that you've made it this far, and look forward to hearing your pitches. As somebody who started their own business in the early 90s, everybody always gets excited about the big picture. Maybe you have a product that's new, maybe you have something innovative, a new service. But oftentimes people overlook what I call the trains running on time. So I wanted to talk just for a few minutes to make sure that as you're building big bridges to rainbows, that at the same time you're making sure that the foundation is strong, and you're worried about things like insurance, business insurance, health insurance, payroll taxes. If you have some idea that's proprietary, should you be seek some legal advice? Should you register a trademark or a patent? I think it's always good to seek some outside advice from experts like lawyers and accountants to make sure that as you're getting started in a new business based on your innovative idea, that all the good things are accounted for, and as well as all the basic things. Well, congratulations to our 4 finalists once again. It's a big achievement to get this far. I wish we could give out 4 awards, but to make it this far is an award in itself. And we look forward to your pitches, and we look forward to following you in the future to see how you each do with your innovative idea.
Curtis, thank you for sharing some great advice from your long and inspiring career here today with our entrepreneurs. Time now for our third pitch of the day, and it comes from Durham-based Rofiwa Books and its owner, Beverly Makubele.
That was almost a terrible accident. Good morning, everyone. There is a story that my mother loves to tell about her favorite books and her favorite author, O.K. Matsipe, and the way he made her feel, weaving into text stories that reflected her own, worlds that looked like her own, like her mother, like her grandmother. Rural worlds, alive, complicated, and Black. My mother is an avid reader, and she's filled with stories that animate her childhood, stories written by Black authors, immigrants, indigenous politicians, expats, Black writers who are filled with big ideas and even bigger imaginations. And she tried very hard to cultivate in myself and in my sister an appreciation for the written text and the worlds that they make possible for young Black kids like myself who are alive and complicated and transgender and Black, young Black kids with complicated names, Beverly Dumelo Makubele. I want you to take a moment to think about the life cycle of a book. How does a book go from manuscript to bookstore to becoming one of your favorite titles? The answer to that question is a series of decisions. Decisions that are made at every stage, of the publishing and distribution chain, from publishers down to the retailers, the booksellers, the bookstores, and the digital booksellers. Two problems emerge in this process. Firstly, the publishing industry remains over 75% white. That's a stark reality, given the correlation between the number of people of color who work in publishing and the number of published books written by people of color. And secondly, bookstores, retailers, that's independent bookstores, big box stores, rely on automated inventory systems to make title suggestions. These are algorithms that relegate Black literature to a mere percentage of total store inventory. And so how do we build truly dynamic and inclusive selections? How might you walk into your favorite bookstore and stumble upon that would-be favorite title written by any number of the hundreds of thousands of Black writers and authors who've been writing for decades across the world if they simply are not on the shelves? And so Rofiwa Book Cafe is fixing that. My name is Beverly Widumelo Makubela. I am the founder of Rofiwa Book Cafe. We are an independent bookstore, Black-owned, queer-owned. We are also a specialty coffee shop, and we believe that it is possible to truly know, to truly learn, and love a people by looking at the text that they write, by looking at the worlds that they weave. We offer a thoughtfully curated and hand-selected collection of contemporary and classic titles written by Black authors from across the world. We take an intentionally global approach, and so to build truly dynamic selections for our adults and young readers. And so you're gonna find a Dangaremba next to a Toni Morrison, next to a Fanon, next to a Jacob Ross or a Sylvia Winters. And for our young readers, you might find or learn about a young Jaden in New York City who's figuring out how to make a garden for himself. Rocket in the Caribbean who's cleaning up her oceans. Akisi in Cameroon who can't seem to stay out of trouble. You might even learn about a young Penelope who's figuring out for the first time that she may be a little young, a little complicated, maybe a little transgender, and very Black. We believe that by honing in on our niche, we are tapping into a growing market for Black literature. We estimated about $42 million, and the market is there. Black cultural workers who are looking for niche literature for creative projects, educators, professors, researchers who are building truly unique syllabi, general interest readers who want to read beyond the popular anti-racist titles. In our current model, we generate revenue via a hybrid B2B and B2C model. We sell directly to our consumers and customers online and in-store. We've generated over $250,000 in revenue in year one, which we grew to 10% in year two. We've gained a foothold in the B2B market by offering bulk ordering and curation services for corporate partners. We've supported several Duke University initiatives and departments. We are affectionately called the neighborhood, in our neighborhood, we're affectionately called the community living room. We've partnered with So Far Sounds, hosted live music events. We've brought live book events to our store, bringing authors from across the world as far as Italy, Ghana, Melissa Harris Perry here in the US we've hosted at the store. We've accomplished all of this without sacrificing on our impact. We continue to support local charter schools, summer camps. We work with various nonprofit organizations, and we continue to elevate Black roasters and growers through our coffee program. Our team, I think we're the perfect team to carry this mission forward. We have a talented curator in Naledi Yazio, who is a Fulbright Fellow, a Mandela Rhodes Scholar who is trained in literature and cultural studies. My mother did succeed in turning me into a reader, a passion that I made in art as I became a collector of Black, rare, and out-of-print literature and art that became Rofiwa Book Cafe. We started as a book cafe, but we believe that there's room for sustainable growth. Over the next 5 years, we want to attain 4 to 5% of our serviceable addressable market, which we estimated about 14 million in just North Carolina. We've crowdfunded over $40,000 to support our first phase. An investment in Rofiwa at this time directly supports our expansion. This year, we want to invest in a series of strategic hires at the operations level to help optimize our online sales, to support us as we expand our B2B offerings. And We also just want to become faster and leaner as we attempt to meet the demands of shipping and fulfilling at high volume. Our vision to distinguish Rofiwa as a knowledge-making and knowledge-sharing a conduit in the global literary community is expanding. And if you believe in what we're doing, if you believe in where we're headed, I hope that you'll consider us for this opportunity, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Beverly. We look forward to visiting Rofiwa Books next time we're in Durham and hopefully seeing you expand here to Charlotte as well. I'll turn it over now to our judges. Marcus will ask the first question, followed by Greece, and then Donna.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. This is a fantastic idea. I actually just recently bought some books from a very similar concept in Sacramento, California. My sister's an avid reader. So my question is, how will your curator select her titles to bring kind of the diversity amongst diversity? With so many different writers available, how are you guys selecting what books you actually bring into your fold?
Thank you for that question. It's a really good one. A lot of people don't know that at this time, there is no tool that aggregates or allows booksellers, retailers, distributors to query publishers or publisher catalogs for exhaustive or complete lists of who their Black writers are across decades. So you cannot go to a publisher and say, hey, give me all of your Black writers for the last 50 years. They would have to do that very manually. And so the publishing industry is lagging in that sense. And so what we find ourselves having to do as a Black bookstore and a Black-owned bookstore is it remains a really manual process for us and for our curator especially. And so we've been adjusting and working with various methods. One thing that we do, or that she does really, is comb through book lists. So she goes and she might look at prize lists in the Caribbean, prize lists on the African continent, in the UK, and look at what are the books that people are reading in the Black world, in the many Black worlds. And that's one way that we might, pull books and make sure that we are building selections that are diverse across time and across genre. A lot of it is manual research. It's looking at a book and looking at the author and trying to place them in context, asking yourself what might a Fanon have said, for example, to a Sylvia Winters, and so on and so forth. And so it's what we have. The thing that distinguishes us truly is that we have a talented curator, someone, like I said, who's trained in literature and trained in cultural studies and can look at a book and read it in context and try and find similar texts and build selections that aren't just US-centric but are looking at the various Black canons, because there are many across the world.
Hi.
Hello.
Congratulations. Being a former teacher a long time ago, I know that there's a lack of books that are coming from underrepresented communities, so I think it's important that we do work like this.
Mm-hmm.
But my question is around, are you doing anything to infiltrate these books in schools, or have you done any work around that?
Yes, and so we've had an opportunity in year 2 to actually grow and work specifically with schools, middle schools, local charter schools, to build libraries, so classroom libraries. Classroom libraries that an average library size in a classroom ranges from about like 300 to 500 books. If it's a decent library, the closer you get to 800, 900, the better it is. So we've recently been approached by several schools in our region to curate diverse and inclusive selections for classroom libraries. We're going to pilot that next month, actually, with the local Montessori that we're working with. So we're working to support the schools with book fairs where we actually curate the selections ourselves. We send out lists to parents and we ask them, select, we build together packages so that we can support them in their home libraries. And that's something that we hope to do more of in years 3 and 4, is to reach out into the schools, work with local educators. Up until this point, we've had teachers come to us and they say, okay, I would like to, I have this class, can you pick out some books? And we would do that, and then we realized there's actually a need to build out complete library sets, particularly from K through 5. And so that's what we've been doing in the last 6 months, and hope to do more of that moving forward.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
For making it here, and thank you so much for your passion of reading. I can connect with that. My mother and I spent a lot of time reading, so I know the written word is extremely powerful, so thank you. As you started this journey, have your priorities changed? Has your strategies changed? Have you seen your business even pivot in this process?
Yeah, yes, a big yes to that. Firstly, we opened in the middle of the pandemic. And so just logistically, the way that we built out the space, we built out for limited seating and all that kind of stuff. And as things have changed in the public health arena, we've had to reconfigure our space to accommodate more people who are feeling, excited about being out in the world again. The problem with having people come into your bookstore, live and direct, is that they have a lot of opinions. So they'll come in there and they'll say, "Oh my goodness, I don't like this." And our biggest critics are young readers. There's 5-year-olds who walk in and say, "You don't have princess books." And this is something that our curator has had to address. We've had kids come, "You don't have enough princess books. You don't have enough books about superheroes." And so we've had to sit down with our youngest readers and say, "Okay, what does it look like to get more princess books in here?" And so she's had to respond to that. Adults have come in and they have feelings about, what makes a good Black selection, and we've had to respond to them. In those ways. We've had to respond to feedback from our customers just in the placement of our notice board. We've had people come in and say, "Well, I don't like where this notice board is. Can you move it?" We struggled, Naledi and myself, in the beginning, because when you make a dream, when you have an idea, you see it just so in the world, and you think, "I'm going to put it in the world exactly as it is." And so then when people come and they have ideas about what it should be, there's that tension between us where you're like, I don't really want to do that. So we've had to learn to give and take with our customers, whether they're online, afar, or in store, and to figure out how do we make a thing together. So I'd say that the Rofiwa now is far more collaborative and responsive to our community, and we've had to work it out with the people that because we're in a neighborhood too. We're in a Black neighborhood in East Durham. We've had to work it out with those folks about how do we make the store work for myself with a dream, and for you who wants to come here and see me into years 4, 5, and 6. Yeah.
Much.
Thank you.
Beverly, thank you. I'm going to have to see after about how to satisfy the demands of a 5-year-old as well. Our last speaker is our very own Hornets star, Kelly Oubre Jr., who not only is a star on the court, but is heavily involved in the community, and in addition to shooting hoops, has his own entrepreneurial endeavors, including the launch of his clothing brand, Dope Soul, which he debuted in 2021 during New York Fashion Week.
What's up, everybody? It's Kelly Oubre Jr. from the Charlotte Hornets. I'm coming here today. I just want to sincerely congratulate our 4 finalists from the Innovation Summit. We have Dose Lifestyle, we have Sipsy Cabana, Playtime Adventures, and Rafiwa Books. Being an entrepreneur myself, I understand, the trials and tribulations that we go through. Just betting on ourselves, it's never easy, and all the cards are stacked against us. But, understanding that if you persevere, continue to work every day, you see good results. In my brand, Dope Soul, my biggest thing is just having a vision, having a message, and having a goal. My goal is to inspire. I'm not in it for anything else other than to touch the people. And, if your heart's in it in the right place, then you will be blessed and reap all the benefits as you all are right now. So congratulations. My biggest piece of advice is to continue to keep going. Never let anybody just get you to that point to where you want to quit, because you came this far. It makes no sense to just go back on everything that you've already done to this point. So for the 3rd time, man, congratulations to everybody. Godspeed for, big things in the future from us all. And
Kelly, thank you for sharing your advice and inspiration. We love watching you on the court, and we very much enjoy watching your entrepreneurial journey as well here in Charlotte. Last but certainly not least, our final pitch comes from Sipsy Cabanas and its founder, Rashida Hemmons.
Good morning. I'm Rashida Hemmons, founder of Sipsy Cabanas. If you've ever had the opportunity to enjoy a poolside cabana, and I mean the drinks, the food, the people you're with, the best views. It made you feel like a VIP, and it was an unforgettable experience. Well, with Sipsy Cabanas, we've taken that experience and we've made it mobile. We work with event organizers to create VIP experiences planned around cabanas. Because let's face it, experiences are something that we don't forget. If I asked you what gift you received for your birthday last year or the year before, you probably don't remember. But if I asked you about a trip that you took 5 years ago or even 10 years ago, you can tell me the details of that. And I see a lot of heads nodding, right? You know the details, because the bottom line is we don't forget experiences, and we don't forget how they make us feel. What's no different when it comes to events. When you go to an event, you want to have that top-notch experience. And event planners are challenged with creating those experiences. Not only do they have to meet the functional elements of an event, but they also have to make sure that event pops. And it's something that's worth sharing on social media. When it comes to outdoor events, the only thing they have to work with are these plain white tents. Great for weddings, not so much for anything else. So again, think business conferences, family reunions, or even music festivals. The plain white tents, they have to take those, spend more time and money decorating them. And then on top of that, if they want tables and chairs, they actually have to work with additional vendors, and that creates complexity that just puts them at risk of creating an event that just does not do well. But with Sipsy Cabanas, we have an all-inclusive solution and approach to creating an experience, an unforgettable experience. So think that poolside experience, but again, at an event. We bring the cabanas, the furniture, the pool, the actual cabana attendants, the food, drinks. We even have a mobile bar service that you can use with or without our cabanas. We also have lawn games, so think giant Jenga, the giant Connect Four. We even just added pickleball. Longer term, the goal is to create this operating model as a franchise and offer that. And I'll talk about our mentorship to entrepreneurship path in a moment. We also have branded products. So think the cabanas and the actual lawn games. We are actually going to create a branded line of products of the same items we use during our events, but it'll be our actual brand. The trademark is already pending on that. Now, looking at our market, when it came to understanding the need and the gap that we wanted to fill, what we initially did when we launched last year was two things. We created some prototypes, and we had conversations with consumers as well as event organizers, who at that time was what we thought that they were actually our target client. And guess what? During those conversations, they started booking us. So we've been booked for now well over 25 events, ranging from as small as 20 people all the way up to over 700. And within those events, we use that as an opportunity to just observe design elements for our services, as well as gather use case data. We've also caught the attention of local media, as well as business incubators. Now let's talk about the team. It's really easy, it's me, founder, CEO. However, we do realize that there's importance around having that community as we continue to scale and grow. So I do have a board of advisors that I work with, both mentors and as well as business guides. And then I'm also in the process and have already started to hire. So not just the part-time help that we're looking for the bartenders, bar attendants, as well as the bar backs. Within that program, we're partnering with community businesses, so such as bartending schools, Johnson & Wales students, people that want to work in the food and beverage as well as event industries. Typically, it's hard to get your foot in the door at something that's they're interested in doing. But for those that love it, that's where the mentorship comes in. We want to give them the opportunity, because if you have the attitude and the aptitude, we want you on the team. We can teach you what you need to know. Now, when we talk about what the investment will be used for, so 3 things is what I'll highlight. 1, I've already talked about our targeted hiring, really partnering with those community organizations to scale. The second would be the demand is there. The weather warms up and people want cabanas, right? And so bottom line is we need additional inventory. We have to get the additional equipment at cabanas. The third being the ongoing customer research. I literally talk to at least 1 event professional a day. We are obsessed with understanding the need, and that's a continuous goal. So we want to attend events such as expos and business and conferences to make sure that we stay in front of our customers and make sure we're aligned with what they need most. So as we continue to scale our team, that code is not there by accident, because again, that teamwork and intelligence is exactly what we're focused on. And what I ask is, give us an opportunity to host you in the Cabana, and I appreciate the opportunity to share this with you. Thank you, and I welcome the questions.
Thank you, Rashida. We appreciate you sharing your vision with us, and we look forward to seeing your cabanas at events all over the city here in the near future. Thomas, I'm going to let you tip off our questions, then we'll go with Donna and Michael.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations, Rashida, for making it on this far. Great concept.
Thank you.
My question is, with the cabana, I think warm weather, I think sunny, not like today. What is your strategy to be successful when the elements are not as friendly?
Great question, because when we launched the beginning of last summer, that was exactly my thought. We won't have business going into the fall and winter. That's why that mobile bar option has actually been booked throughout the fall and winter season. We just had an event about 2 weeks ago. We set up a mocktail bar for the Cabarrus County Education Fund. So that actually has been a niche that we've been filling as well, where people found out that we actually do focus on mocktails, right? And the people that, for example, we were actually featured on TV for Dry January for a story there. So that is part of the pillars of what we offer. It's not just the alcoholic, it's also the non-alcoholic, and just overall the experience again. So that's really, I know earlier we talked about pivoting and understanding the market. That was actually an aha moment for us and expanded the opportunity.
Well thought out. Thanks.
Thank you. Congratulations again. Really excited to have you here. A little bit to his question about pivoting a little bit, but like, how large do you want to see this go? When you talk about investing in inventory, what are your thoughts? What do you have now? Are you looking to do multiple things on the same day? Like, what is your strategy when it thinks about expansion?
Great question, because the goal when we started this was just to understand the opportunity, and we started with literally 2 prototype cabanas and quickly realized I've got to figure out how to make more. So the goal with expansion are 2 items. One, of course, within the Charlotte market. Yes, the goal actually this year and this summer, I have a roadmap, is to host at least 2 events on one day. That's going to entail having the strategic team in place. I'm in the process, for example, of already interviewing a bar lead, because that person I need to be able to hand that piece off, right, and say, hey, I trust you. Here's the operations manual, right, of what we do, but grow that. So the goal actually this year is to have the 2 events one year. The second strategy around expansion is the franchising, because when you think about the mentorship to entrepreneurship model, that's one of our actually main pillars. That's really important to me, because I know what it feels like if you want to enter the industry as a bartender officially. Even though you can love it all you want, but if you don't have the 5 years or sort of that F&B or food and beverage experience, it's really hard to crack open the door. So if we can take the people that love it, but set them up well with the mentorship that they need, ideally, I expect that they'd want to own it ultimately. And I already have interest in the franchise area. So I just got to nail the operations though first, of course, and document the repeatable process. And the plan would be to scale through franchising.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
Terrific idea. Question for you. What does it cost you to deliver the cabana, and what do you typically charge for it?
Great question. We learned that through, again, sort of our prototype and piloting period, and nailed finally our pricing. We found what I would consider our ceiling, right, and what we should be charging. So there are 2 ways that we, so from figuring out the cost, we run about a 30 to 45% as far as from a profit standpoint. So every event that we're throwing, we actually have 30 to 45% profit off of that event. And then as far as the pricing, $22 per person is the starting point for our all-in bar service, and that's all inclusive. I always say we bring the ice cubes included, right? Because the thought is we don't want our clients to think about any part of it. And then on the cabana side, the pricing starts at $800 for a 4-hour time period. That includes the furniture as well as the cabana. And then there are services they can add, the lawn service, if they want a full service cabana, so that means the cabana attendants. But base package includes the 8 water bottles. We actually have a single bottle of either non-alcoholic or alcoholic champagne, and a base juice package, what we call as a mimosa package. Sure.
Thank you again, Rashida. That concludes our pitches today. Congratulations to all of our finalists, and I must say this year's finalists are as professional and their pitches as polished as we've ever seen. It's a testament to all of you as entrepreneurs, and hopefully a sign that the Innovation Summit is serving its purpose here in our community. Again, great job with your presentations today. You should be proud of yourselves for how far you've come already and for being here. I hope everyone in attendance learned something new and enjoyed hearing from some great local entrepreneurs and business leaders. I know I did. The best part of watching the finals is knowing that everyone who participated in our Hornets Innovation Summit presented by Bank of America is going to walk away with something. While only one pitch can win the $15,000 investment, every applicant will receive a year of free access to resources from the Lonely Entrepreneur, as well as an electronic toolkit with vital tips for entrepreneurs to help them grow their businesses. We are going to let our judges take some time to reflect on these presentations, and we will announce the winner on Friday, March 31st during the Hornets game against the Chicago Bulls. If you're unable to join us in person here at Spectrum Center on the 31st, you can follow Hornets Give on Instagram and Twitter for updates. And again, thank you to our finalists for sharing their work, to our judges for taking on this very difficult task, and our speakers for offering their wisdom. Everyone who applied and all of you in attendance, we thank you for watching this live stream, and a special thank you to our friends at Bank of America for being our presenting partner. We are proud to be working with so many amazing organizations that are equally committed to economic mobility and minority entrepreneurs. I'm Sam Farber. It's been a pleasure and a privilege having you with us. We hope you have a great rest of your day.